Thousands of Americans and our allies are still stranded in Afghanistan. And U.S. officials apparently don't even have any data on who was evacuated. And I don't know, who are the refugees we let in? With me now, former senior White House advisor, policy advisor, and founder of First Legal, Steve Miller, my pal. You know, Steve Miller, I saw you on Tucker last night. You were very good. I didn't even know, until I read all the gory details this morning, just how right you are. I mean, the lead story in the Journal, majority of interpreters and other U.S. visa applicants were left behind in Afghanistan. So, Steve, let me get this right. The Americans, of course, were left behind, a couple hundred, but the so-called interpreters, you know, and others who were helping us on the ground, they were left behind, and they had these special visas. So then I know there's 100,000 some odd who were airlifted to the U.S. Who are they? They're not the people we wanted, apparently. I had no idea it was this bad. The people we wanted are still in Afghanistan, and the people we don't know anything about are here in the States? Help me out on this. This is an unbelievable story.
Well, sometimes, Larry, and this would be one of those times, I truly do hate being proven right. And I'm looking forward to the full retraction from the Wall Street Journal editorial board, because last time I was on your program,
Yes.
we discussed this very thing. And I had access to people still inside the government who were documenting for me what was going on. And so I was able to speak about it with a great deal of information and a great deal of certainty. And so let me summarize for people again what's happened here. Joe Biden surrendered Kabul to the Taliban. At that moment in time, he lost all operational control over the evacuation. Furthermore, of course, as President Trump has pointed out, he withdrew the troops first and did the evacuation second. And so Joe Biden thought, and his advisors thought, we'll just do a PR play. We'll fill up airplanes with random people, fly them into the United States, pretend that we evacuated the people we wanted to get out, and hope nobody notices. I wish it wasn't as crazy as I've just described it, but now everybody's realizing that that is what has happened. And here's the worst part from a national security standpoint, Larry. To vet a refugee, in other words, a stateless person who's been forcibly displaced, for whom we have no documents and no records, that takes typically over a year to do, because you don't know who the person is. You have to use human intelligence to verify their story, compared to somebody who has a lawful visa application. And so what they've done is they've admitted people through a process known as parole. They've abused it in a way that's unlawful to bypass the refugee screening process entirely. So not only do we not know who any of these people are, but we haven't even made an attempt to find out.
You know, this is an incredible story, vastly worse than I dreamed possible. And you're right, the editorial page ought to talk to you about it. Their own news. I mean, I'm looking at this article. I'm sure you read the Wall Street Journal this morning. Also, I read the New York Post, too. I mean, all these reports gave me a blistering headache that I still kind of have. So who in God's name are these 100,000? I mean, wait, let me step back, Steve Miller. They just went into the airport. They got through the Taliban checkpoints, quote unquote, and then they just got on these planes. We don't know who they are. How is that possible? How is that possible?
The only screening that took place prior to a departure flight, so in other words, to get onto the airplane, to be put into the queue, the initial screening was a pat-down. So in other words, if you got onto the airport, they patted you down for weapons, and then you got onto an airplane, and then you went to an air base, many of them, for example, to Doha, some to Ramstein, Germany, et cetera, where you were put in the queue to come to the United States. So the only condition for getting out of Afghanistan was a pat-down at the airport. And so we had people showing up to the airport, bringing their entire families with them, cousins, aunts, uncles. We had no idea who they were. And when we ran these people subsequently through a background check, it came up empty. In other words, there was nothing on file at all. And again, if you had, let's say you've been an interpreter for 10 years to the United States government, and you worked with many, many different commands and many different soldiers and many different missions. When we take your fingerprints, we'll get an immediate hit. We'll know who you are. We'll know where you worked. We'll know where you served. When we're taking fingerprints for these individuals, there's no hits at all. It's just a ghost. It's a mystery. It's a blank page.
Well, we've got 100,000 people we really don't want. Maybe we want some of them.
And the truth is, but Larry,
people,
let's be honest, Larry. If you're doing just a conventional refugee resettlement, in other words, if it's just John Q. Smith doesn't want to live in Afghanistan anymore, he'd like to live somewhere else, but he's under no special threat and he's had no special role in the war. The solution to that is to say, let's find a home for you in Pakistan or Qatar or somewhere else in the Middle East. It can't possibly be the position of the U.S. government that over the course of the next 10 years, we're going to take out of Afghanistan and move into Detroit and Philadelphia every single person who doesn't want to live there for any reason at all.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But you got to go back and get the rest of the Americans, and I would argue we should try to get the real translators who put their lives on the line. This group, I don't know what they're doing here. This has nothing.
It's the greatest. It is this debacle gets worse every day. Every day you're reading the newspaper, and one other element of this Afghanistan story unfolds, and you just keep thinking to yourself, how does it keep getting worse? And yet somehow it does every day.
I know. You're dead right. Steve Miller, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Please keep coming back and helping us out on this. And you were right.
Absolutely.
And this is such a bad story.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.